What was the clue word for number 1? Linear. So which one looks like a straight line pattern? Why was A? Y'all see A was kind of curved? C was kind of curved. They're non-linear, and this was no association. This had a straight line pattern. Do not miss that on the test tomorrow. Number 2 says which scatter plot shows a non-linear. It did not say no association. Okay, this is linear, yes. This is an association, but it is non-linear. So 2 was your answer. Number 3, what did you have to draw? A trend line. So you take your straight edge, you make sure that it is right in the middle of the trend. You use a pencil in case you need to redo it. Another thing you can ask yourself is, should it go through 0? Just based off of, if they're talking about people in a household and amount spent, if you have 0 people in your household, how much money should you spend? So would it pass through 0 based on that? That'll kind of give you a guide of where your trend line. All right, it wants to know what's the best prediction for the money spent for a household of 7 people. So I got to find 7. Well, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here is 7. So I go up to my trend line on that line and over, and I am right at $240. Number 4, what should I use? Stat will give me every single answer for these. So I'm going to go to Stat. Edit. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, and 17. Stat Calc. Option 4. What's the slope? 2. What's the y-intercept? So the correct answer was C. Check your answer. Number 5. Again, I need an equation. Can I use stat? But what do I need to be able to use stat? I need at least 2 coordinates. Okay, now if you're not good at 0, skip that one and do this one. What is the x coordinate here? 2. What is the y coordinate? 3. Go on to the next one. What is the x coordinate? 4. What is the y coordinate? Now I can use stat. Could I have done all the dots? Sure. Do I need to? No. I only need 2. Okay, so I have 2 and 4 and 3 and 4. Stat Calc, option 4. What's the slope? 0.5. What's the y-intercept? All right, so the answer was D. Moving on. I need to draw a trend line. Is this one going to pass through 0? Absolutely not. So I'm just going to put my pencil in the middle. If I want to draw my guidelines, I can. And again, if I don't like the trend line I draw, I start over. That's why I use pencil. It wants me to make a prediction for when the temperature is 50. Well, what were they counting by? No, they weren't. What would this be? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Here is 50. So I go up to my trend line and over. And I am right at this spot. What would that spot represent? 360. Number 7, do I need a trend line or did they just want me to interpret it? Interpret it. So what's happening as the year goes up, what's happening to the number of scouts? It's going down. A says the scouting was increased. No, because it wasn't going up. B says the local children in scouting decreased. That's your answer. C said it was constant. If it was constant, guys, it would be a straight line going like that. And D said no association, which is not true. Number 8. Do you see equations? Can I use stat? Yes. So I do X and Y. I need 2 points. Is this a point right here? Where am I at on the X-axis? Where am I at on the Y-axis? Okay, here's a point. Where am I at on the X-axis? No, on the X-axis. 0. On the Y-axis. So I'm going to go to stat. Two, 0, 0, -6, stat calc. What's the slope? I can't hear y'all. What's the slope? 3. What's the y-intercept? No, it's not 6. -6. So what's the correct answer? C. Moving on to the next one. Number 9. Jeremy collected data about students' heights and their scores. After he made a scatter plot to show the relationship, he concluded there was no correlation. So which one of these graphs shows no correlation? B. Number 10 and 11 were repeats of the previous page, so go ahead and skip them. So number 12, what do I need to do? Number 12, what do I need to do? Draw a trend line. I want to make sure I'm right in the middle, and if I don't like it, I redraw it.
Nicholas.
Okay, it wants to know now here's the deal. I want y'all to look at the x-axis, where is hours? And then also check the y-axis. It's talking about what? Beats per minute. Okay, so I'm looking for 8 hours. I go up and over, and I'm right by 50. I was a little bit below 50, but 50 was my answer. Number 13, again, what do I use? Stat. Do I have to put all of those points in? Or can I only put 2? I can only put 2 if I want to. So I'm going to do 0 and 0.5 and 9.75 and 10.55. Oh. There we go. Stat calc, option 4. What's the slope? What's the slope? 1.6. What's the y-intercept? So the answer was B. Number 14. What was the clue word? Linear. What type of thing was F? Non-linear. How about G? Non-linear. How about H? Linear. How about J? No association. Do not miss this question tomorrow. If it says which of the following is not linear, then you're picking not a straight line. All right, number 19, what do you have to draw? Trend line. Now, How many of you read that both of the axes say what? Both of them said hours. This was a real STAR test question that tried to confuse students. Which hours did they want you to look at? Recreational. And this is work. So if you went to 10 and went up and picked 33, you missed the problem. Did everybody see if you picked 33, you got it wrong? It wanted you to go to recreational hours for 10. So I went here. You have to read what the axis says. I go over and down. And my trend line's probably a little off because I'm at 70. But which answer's the closest? 65. Okay, the next one, I had drew a trend line. Based on the scatter plot, we need 70 hours learning. So which axis am I looking for 70? The X or the Y? All right, what were they counting by? Don't say 10. So here's 5, 10, 15, 20. So here's 50, 55. This is 60. So what should I have done? Extended my graph. Here would be 65. Here would be 70. I'm going to go up to that trend line and then over. And I am right above 80. So what do y'all think the answer is? 85. Number 17. Melissa's saving $25 that she earned for washing her mom's car. She earns $10 every week doing her chores. Did y'all see a clue word? Every. So which one of these numbers gets the X? So it's going to be 10X plus 25. Which one says that? A. This test is going to be easy if you're paying attention. Number 18. How can I write an equation? I'm waiting. How do I write an equation? Still waiting on y'all's answer. How can I write an equation? We've done it 20 times. I heard somebody. Stat. To use stat, what do you need? 2 points. Here's a point. Here's a point. They have to be good points. What is this X value? 20. What is this Y value? Okay, what is this X value? And this Y value? Could you have used different ones than me? Yes. We're going to go to stat. $20, $40, $3, $5. Stat calc. What's the slope? It's not 1. What's the slope? Y'all can read it to me right here. What's the slope? 0.1. What's the y-intercept? All right, look at the y-intercepts. Can I cross off A and B? Yes or no? Based on the fact that this is a decimal, which one is it not going to be? It's not going to be D. Could I go change that to a fraction? Could I go change this to a decimal? Yes. All right, the next one. Again, how do I write an equation? Stat. Y'all should be answering me really quickly. How many points do I need? Okay, here's one. Here's one. So I have 0, 3, and 6, 0. I'm going to go to stat. Stat calc. What's the slope? No, it's not. What's the slope? Negative 0.5. What's the y-intercept? 3. Which answer has a slope of negative 0.5? J, and a y-intercept of 3. Okay, last page. What do I need to draw on here? A trend line. I need to follow the trend as best as possible. It wants me to make a prediction for 1 hour playing video games. Should I go to the x-axis or y-axis? The y-axis, because it says hours of video games. Go over to my trend line, then go down, and where am I at approximately? At 9. Last one. How do I write an equation? Stat. Some of you have not been paying attention. I need 2 points. Here's a dot. This is a good one. So that's 0, 3, and 2, 7. I go to stat, edit. 0, 2, 3, 7. Stat calc. What's my slope? Guys, this is the last question. I need y'all to sit up and pay attention. What's my slope? 2. What's my y-intercept? 3. So what's the answer? J.